Now, in this work, there's really three main ways that we learn to deal with our emotions. The first is that we learn to suppress them or repress them. So we do it subconsciously or consciously. And when we go throughout our life, our childhood, we pick up these emotional traumas, these energies from our surrounding environment, and we learn to hold on to it. And unfortunately, we keep that within our body. So whether it's suppressed anger that we had when we were a kid that we couldn't quite let out because maybe we didn't feel safe to express our anger because we'd be judged for it, or there might be punishment, or maybe someone passed away in our life and we never had the time to really grieve because we were just so busy with work or life or school. There's all sorts of reasons that we hold on to emotions and we don't quite address them, or maybe it was even so painful an experience, such a shock to our system when you were younger, that you just didn't have time to really shake it off, to process it. And so we've been holding on to it largely our entire life, for decades even, until we can actually do the part of this work, which is to let them go. And so the unfortunate part of holding on to these emotions is that they don't just go anywhere. They actually get stored within our body. And often, whether it's anger or that grief, they get stored within our heart and our shoulders. And we hold that within the tension of our body. And over time, that accumulates and it builds up and up until we find ourselves acting out or having patterns or saying things we don't mean or self-sabotaging ourselves. And so what can also happen is, the emotions, they create dis-ease within our body, dis-ease without ease. And that emotional tension starts creating blockages and creates all sorts of symptoms. And I've seen it from intestinal problems to anxiety to facial problems and all of the above kind of physical symptoms people experience. Now, the next way that people deal with emotions, rather than suppress them and keep them to themselves and hold on to them, is that they express them to others in an unhealthy way sometimes. So if they're not keeping down that anger, maybe the only way that we've learned to express our anger is to put it on to others, to get into a rage, and to really end up hurting ourselves and other people. Now, we don't want to do this either. Both of these are very unhealthy ways to deal with our emotions, to suppress them and repress them and keep them in our body, to keep ourselves holding on to pain because we think it's safe and that's all we know. And it's also unhealthy to really express it and to throw our energy and our emotions onto other people. That's also not a great way to deal with it. Now, the third way, and the topic that we're going to learn today, is the most incredible way to deal with emotions, which is just to let them go. We no longer have to hold on to them and suffer and have other people suffer. And we can just actually learn to just drop the energy. And often we've been holding on to this stuff for so many years, not realizing all of the baggage that we're carrying, and that we actually have a choice to let it go, and we're just not consciously aware of it. And so that's what we're going to learn how to do, is to consciously bring these emotions that have been in our subconscious, that we've been holding on to, into our conscious awareness so we can let them go and set ourselves free.